Hey there guys, and welcome to the next episode of Philetic Talks Guild Wars 2. This is my weekly show all about Guild Wars 2, and this week, being Sylvari week last week, we're going to be talking all about the Sylvari. I'm really excited for this one because I never really liked the Sylvari originally, but after reading up on them over this week and discovering all the new things, they look absolutely awesome. So that's what I'm going to be talking about this week, and hopefully I'll inform you all a lot more about them so you can all enjoy to play them, or at least give them a try, when you get the game. So who are the Sylvari and where did they come from? The Sylvari are just a completely brand new race to Jiraiya as a whole. They are completely brand new to Guild Wars. They are only 25 years old, and in this next expansion to the Guild Wars franchise, they are going to be a new race in that sense as well. Lore-wise, they are just opening up to the world. They are literally, as I said, 25 years old, so the idea is that your characters are going to be the new Sylvari. Originally there were only 12 that were born from the Power Tree, their mother. If you ever watched the film Avatar, you could think of it as the Na'vi, where they have this mother tree and they sort of protect it with their lives because that is their home, that is where they come from. It's a similar sort of idea, whereas the Pale Tree is sort of their mother, and the original 12 thought they were going to be the last ones, thought they were going to be the only ones that come out of this tree, because they have a sense of the world due to the dream, but I'll talk about that later. But the whole idea is that your characters, when you make the Sylvari in Guild Wars 2, are going to be the revolution that is a Sylvari, the ones past the original 12, the new race. You are basically going to be the new ones, and the original 12 are kind of going to be the leaders of the race, I would assume. So you may be thinking, well, what is the Pale Tree and how does it play a role into the Sylvari, other than, say, the Na'vi that the Sylvari is so often getting referred to all over the Guild Wars 2 community. But the Pale Tree was founded 250 years ago. A human soldier called Ronan found a strange seed during his exploring, his adventuring, and he planned to sort of give this seed to his family, to his daughter, as a sort of gift. But when he eventually got home from his adventures, his home was destroyed. So instead he planted the seed on his family's graves, and 250 years later the tree has obviously grown into this massive, wonderful tree, and as known as the Power Tree. And this is where the original Sylvari come from, and it sort of gives a meaning behind how the tree as a whole has sort of memories, because over the 250 years, it's the lore states that sort of centaurs and different things visit the tree and give it wisdom, and it's known as a centaur called Vantri or something along those lines. That centaur writes a set of rules on a tablet, sort of wisdom, kind of like the Ten Commandments, if you like, sort of that along those kind of lines, that sort of wisdom. So the tree basically has a sense of life in the world, and it gives that sense of life back to the Sylvari. So before they are born, they sort of have a dream, and this dream, it basically gives them the wisdom of the world, so they don't sort of come into the world and not know anything at all that's going on and probably end up dying of shock or something along those lines. They have a general idea of why they are there and the world, what's out there, but they are obviously still new. They don't know anything. It's all in their subconscious. They realise they've had this sort of dream. They know what's going on, but they don't really. It's kind of, think of it as if you go into a time machine and go 500 years into the future, and so because you've lived however many years of your life you've lived about the world, but you have no idea what this new world, this future world is all about, and you almost feel scared to explore because you don't really know what's going on. And before I talk about the dreams, I just want to add to that a little bit, and the lore of it says that the original 12, I don't know the numbers exactly from the top of my head, but basically a few of them were brave enough to go out and explore the world, and a few of them were, entrusted themselves to guard the tree or stay by the tree and sort of gain its knowledge and try to find out a bit more. And a few of them sort of ventured out and around the tree, and they're all sort of trying to gain this wisdom of the world, trying to understand what's going on and understand what they have immersed themselves into. Psychologically, think of it as the tree being the mother. In human psychology, when you're a child, you would generally immerse yourself around your mother. So say if you go to somewhere new, you would generally only feel comfortable after a certain amount of time with your parents, and then you gain enough confidence to go out and explore. And it's similar with the Sylvari and the Pale Tree. They only would explore around the Pale Tree. They wouldn't go off, say, to another country overseas. They own, at the moment, being such a young race, they only feel secure inside themselves enough to only explore around the Pale Tree. But as we come in and we play our characters, we're the ones that are, after 25 years of the Sylvari sort of exploring and gaining wisdom, we're the ones that are going to go out there and explore and interact with the other races and basically get ourselves involved in the world. So to try and explain a little bit more about the dream, it's basically, it all comes from the tree. The tree holds all the knowledge that's gained from the Sylvari so far. It's explained as, say the tree is a lake of knowledge. Each Sylvari, when they're born, they take a bucket of this knowledge, and that's all flung at them in a dream. So they may see images of, say, their first cooking experience, they may see images of their first battle, little things like this, and it's all put together in one dream. And each Sylvari has a different dream of different knowledge that is gained so far by the tree that offers them this dream. So when they come into the world, they are almost detached from their dream, and it's like emphasized in its subconscious, in the Sylvari's subconscious. So they have a general idea of what being alive is about, but they still need to experience it themselves. They're almost like an extremely smart child in that sense. There is a lot more to talk about the lore of Sylvari, but I want to sort of cut it off there, as I want to sort of talk about the Sylvari in the game rather than the lore. But there is great articles on the Guild Wars 2 website and the Guild Wars 2 blogs all about the Sylvari, so I suggest if you want to know more, give them a read. I've sort of gone over the basics, but I want to sort of talk about what I think about them as a whole, really. So the Sylvari are definitely a race I am going to play, but not as my main character, I don't think. I'm just really interested in their story, and the way Guild Wars 2 is going to be able to play through your stories basically makes it easy to be able to just play it just for fun, rather than having to read through loads and loads of text and go through different quests to get lore quests and different types of things. So yeah, they should be easy to play, but I'll definitely have a Sylvari as an alt, but not as my main character. I plan to just have a human as my main character, but the whole idea of them, I really like it. It's a brand new idea. I haven't really seen anything like them before. A lot of people are comparing them to druids, but I think they're much more than that. They have so much more of a core. They're so new, and they're not, changing themselves into animals. So, but every single MMO has this sort of nature-based class, or nature-based race or whatever, but they've taken it to the extreme. These are literally plants, which I just really like, and I like the idea of it, and the fact that they're like I said, taking it to the extreme. Like, even the armor, even the weapons you get are going to be immersed into your character. I've used the word immerse a lot but you know what I mean. It's going to, like, for example, say if you have shoulders, a new piece of shoulders drop, or you gain a new piece of shoulders. They don't just look like they're just being planted on, they've just, well, planted I suppose is the wrong word, but they've just been placed onto your shoulders, like you just equipped it. They literally look like they're going to grow into a shoulder piece, like a plant would grow off your shoulder, for example. Even though they have a lot of human aspects, you see some pictures of ones where they just look like a plant. They're colourful. It's said in the design of them, like for example their facial features, like their nose and their eyebrows, they basically grow off their face. Their eyebrows would just won't be eyebrows, but they'll just be like lumps of, you know, stem or leaves that have happened to have formed as an eyebrow, you know, just to give it that creative aspect of an actual character rather than just looking literally like a plant, so you can actually play it without, you know, feeling sick. But I really love this, how they've done it. They have taken the Sylvari as a race to new levels in MMOs. I think they've really put the RPG in MMORPG. Just everything about the game seems to be planted as, you know, basically reborning the whole MMORPG genre, and the Sylvari are a perfect example of that, and how they're putting so much into the class. The fact that armor and weapons are part of your character, literally, and the fact that it has a brand new story to them. You are literally playing your character. You're not just, you know, rolling as Sylvari for their racial ability. You're not just rolling as Sylvari just because the gear looks better on them because of their character model and how the gear looks. You're rolling it because you want to play one, you want to know about the story, you like the look of them, you love how they, you know, the look and feel basically of the class, of the race even. And you know, that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be about all these other little things that the race gives just because of the stats and numbers and figures. It should be about the actual character and the actual race itself that you want to play. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to end it there. I wish I could talk more, but the purpose of these is to be short and informative, basically. Just because I'm kind of taking it off a podcast idea, but putting it in short clips so you can sort of see video with audio on top. And it's just a nice thing to listen to each week whilst, you know, we're waiting for Guild Wars 2 to come out. So thanks for listening. If you want me to talk more about the Sylvari, I'm happy to. Just leave a comment and I will just, you know, do another episode completely about the Sylvari again. But again, I probably would do one later anyway. So thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe. And yeah, just basically comment on what you think about the Sylvari, and you know, if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. You know, I love to talk to you guys. And you know, again, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.